Howdy everybody, it's the comprehensive review of the Honda CBR650R. The giveaway is wrapping up today. It's the last day to enter. And you guys know how I do it. After spending some time with the motorcycle, evaluate it, testing it, thinking about it, I come together with my final thoughts. I did want to extend a congratulations to Jeremy from Iowa who won our Yamaha MT-07. That was the recent bike we just did last month. And remember, this is the last day to get entered to win this bike. So head over to yamanoob.co, become a member, support the show. You'll get your entries locked and loaded to win this bike. And then we're launching a new motorcycle in just a week after this one. You're not gonna wanna miss it. It's a really cool retro future themed beginner bike with an awesome new update that I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. Very excited to do that one. Okay, let's get on with it, shall we? So the general vibe for me on this motorcycle, honestly, I didn't really click with it. And let me preface this by saying this is just my opinion as a pretty seasoned motorcyclist. If you bought this bike, if you love this motorcycle, please don't take what I'm about to say as, oh, I hate you, I hate your motorcycle. That is not what I'm saying here. This is simply my opinion on the bike and why I didn't quite gel with it. Your results may vary. So the stock tires on this machine are not confidence inspiring at all. I've made it a new rule for the giveaway bikes that I pretty much leave them completely unmodified. The reason being is that I don't want to give away a motorcycle to someone with my own touches or changes, much in the way that when I tell you guys to go sell a motorcycle, you try to leave it as unmodified as possible. So I buy the bikes and I run them exactly as they come from the factory. I don't make any changes to them. But if I were to own this motorcycle, the first thing I would do would be to swap out these tires even before you roast them out. Seriously, swap in a pair of Michelin Pilot Road 6s and just love life on this thing. If you wanted to get a little more sporty with it, Bridgestone S23, also a fantastic sport going offering for this motorcycle, providing some longevity and all-weather capabilities as well. Both tires have excellent water dispersion, good grip characteristics, and a nice V shape to them that allows you to feel a little bit more of that side-to-side action, because that's the thing that this bike is really missing. But there's another reason for that. There's no getting around it that this motorcycle is simply heavier, longer, and just slower to steer than basically everything else in the category. At 466 pounds, a 57-inch wheelbase, and 101 millimeters of trail, this motorcycle is just not really designed to be fun, peppy, playful, or change directions very quickly. When you ride this bike, you understand that it's primarily designed to be a straight line, gentlemanly, easygoing, smooth, and refined motorcycle to commute with. Nothing wrong with that. There's certainly many places in the market for that, and many riders who would want something like that. Me personally, I just prefer a little bit more pop, fizzle, and panache from my bikes. It's why I did say in my comparison video that if you were to give me either a GSX-8R or a CBR650R, I'd probably pick the GSX-8R, which I know to the inline-4 diehards is sort of a hard pill to swallow. The inline-4 does give this motorcycle a cool character. It has this kind of fun, fizzy energy to it. But ultimately, this inline-4 is pretty darn outdated at this point. This is engine architecture that dates back all the way to the 90s. Yes, it's seen some revisions. Yes, it's seen some updates. But really, despite the fact that this bike has a TFT display and the cool e-clutch system, which we'll talk about a little bit, it's kind of old school. It feels more like a sport touring VFR, like really plump, heavy, dense motorcycle. The inline-4 does provide for more moving parts. It's got a longer crank, it's got more pistons, it's just a wider mill, and so when you sit aboard this machine, it's certainly plus-sized, it's bigger, it's substantial. Again, nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're trying to find, that's great. But in this category of not-so-super sport, it needs to be a little lighter, a little more peppy in my opinion. I just found it on road to be not the most confidence-inspiring, not the most well-feeling motorcycle. I didn't feel like I could trail brake this bike and feel confident about what the front end was doing. I didn't love the way it tipped into corners. It just felt a little lacking to me. I think if you wanted an inline-4 for the street that was fun and playful but didn't have the 600 power band characteristics, I think the ZX4 is a better buy than the CBR650R. I had a lot more fun riding the ZX4 as this like crazy little pocket rocket thing. than the CBR650R. And look, I know you're already down in the comments saying that, yeah, you gotta flash this motorcycle, you gotta put an exhaust on it, you gotta put new tires on it, you have to put stiffer suspension on it, you have to change the geometry a little bit. But really ask yourselves this question: if you're having to do all of that work to make this motorcycle basically function like a stock RS660, is it really worth it? Is it really even the same bike at that point? I think no, personally. And there's nothing wrong with putting a nice exhaust system on your bike and making some creature comforts and tire changes. We all do that to our motorcycles. I just think you need to understand that this bike as a base platform is very soft. It's very road going. It's very commuter focused. More so than the looks and the vibe and the power plant would entail. If you were to ask me, Yam, if it were your own motorcycle, would you put a full system on it? I think I might, because it's very quiet, but I'd want to find something with a really nice baffle, a nice controlled tone that I could hear this motorcycle a little bit more, because you don't get any induction noise. That's where you really feel this motorcycle's age, is all of the new age motorcycles that are meeting Euro 5 plus emissions all have acoustically tuned induction systems. When I ride my Aprilia Touareg 660, or when we rode the GSX-8R and did the airbox mod to it, or when you ride a stock MT-07 nowadays, because they know that they can't get too much output out of the exhaust, they have to create input with the intake, and so you hear the motorcycle when you open it up. You don't hear this motorcycle when you open it up. You just hear this fizzy inline four sound behind you just a little bit. So the power delivery in the middle, it's very subtle, very gutless. It's, like I said in my review, it's the laziest 94 horsepower I've ever felt on a motorcycle. And again, that could be due to the fact that it's longer, it's a little heavier, a little lazier, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have the same punch and character that the larger parallel twin bikes have in this category. But if inline four sounds and feel is important to you, this is the one you gotta get. I also have to wonder how Honda is going to maneuver bringing the CB750 Hornet to the United States and selling the CB650R right next to it. Both motorcycles make roughly 90 horsepower, they're roughly a similar displacement, and they look basically the same to the regular consumer. And so I worry that Honda is kind of confusing their own lineup, and I don't know if these bikes will really stand the test of time. Despite the fact that Honda updated the fairings, they put the E-clutch on it, it's bizarre to me that they're going to keep running this motorcycle when the CB750 is clearly the bike that is going to be piloting the future for them. To be honest, I think the CB650R is the one to get, the naked version of this motorcycle. The reason being is that it's a little bit lighter because it has less plastics, but because you get a handlebar with a little more leverage over the clip-ons that this motorcycle has, you don't really notice the extra length and the extra weight and the relatively longer trail that the motorcycle has as well. I also think the CB650R looks prettier than this motorcycle. I like the single round headlight. I love that the pipes are exposed on the side. So as a platform, if you're looking at this bike or the naked bike, you're kind of picking between one or the other, my personal choice would be the naked bike. I think it's just a little cooler and it works a little bit better. We gave one away in 2019. We put a full pipe on it. I actually really like that motorcycle. It gave me classic like Suzuki Bandit 600 energy. It had like a great vibe about it in a way that this motorcycle doesn't really give me. If memory serves me correctly, that bike was also equipped stock with a better set of rubber than this. The fully faired version, in theory, would be better for longer distances and more creature comforts for commuting, but honestly, unless you're talking like multi-day, 700+ mile sort of adventures with your motorcycle, the naked bike is gonna do just fine. Okay, so what did I like about it after you think now that I just slapped this motorcycle around and told it what's what? Well, the inline four is really cool. It's fizzy, it's characterful, it's unique in this category, and I do think that if that's what you're after, this bike provides it. It is a little gutless in the middle. It doesn't rev as high as something like the ZX4. It doesn't have that awesome top end rush. It kinda gets it done. CBR650R simps in the comments now tell me that once you flash and put a pipe on it, well, yeah, it's a totally different motorcycle at that point. But again, we're not flashing and putting pipes on bikes anymore. One thing I have to give Honda credit for is the fit and finish and the packaging. This bike just feels awesome to ride. When you look down at the cockpit, the red and the white Honda logo there, the look out of the dash, everything feels super premium and definitely feels like a motorcycle that costs around $10,000 MSRP. That's one area where the R7, for example, sorely lacks. The R7 feels like a toy compared to this that feels like a true blue proper motorcycle. So talking about the e-clutch, I talked about it to death with this motorcycle, I will admit, but there was a lot to discuss with it. I'll give you a TLDR. I think it's a cool and novel technology. I hope that new beginner riders don't get swayed away by using a clutch because of their e-clutch. Really neat. For us seasoned motorcyclists, it is a little bit gimmicky. The only benefit it really gives you over a quick shift system is the ability to not pull in the clutch when you come to a stop. But really, that's never been an issue for me. If you do have issues pulling the clutch or your body simply doesn't allow you to use a clutch lever, this can be a great solution for you. But ultimately, for a seasoned motorcyclist, it doesn't provide any benefit over a traditional quick shift up and down. One area where it is a little bit better and a little bit different though, is that a quick shift system, when you think about it, it was designed for racetrack applications. It was designed for you to be full pin, lots of load, and then it just slips and interrupts the transmission and gets it done. That in a street setting doesn't work that great because you need to be on the gas and then slip up into the gear. Sometimes you want to be off the gas and go up and down the gearbox, and because this actually engages and disengages the clutch, it is super smooth the way that you can grab shifts up and down totally seamlessly regardless of your throttle input. So kind of neat. Okay, so who is this bike for? Who should be looking at this? Who should think that this is a great bike? Because like I said, not really my cup of tea, but certainly fits for a lot of motorcyclists. I think for the commuter rider who is very honest with themselves, who's never gonna take their bike on track, who doesn't really do twisty roads, who literally just wants a cool looking motorcycle that makes a cool frickin' sound to take them to school and back or to work and back, this bike's awesome. It's comfortable to ride, makes the right inline four sounds, and looks the part. I also think this motorcycle works well for beginners who feel very confident that a 650 class 94 horsepower motorcycle is appropriate to them to start on. I'm thinking about someone who's like 27 years old, has dirt bike experience, a little bit of power sports experience. They can jump onto this, and with the e-clutch system, they're gonna have a good time. You can start on this motorcycle if that's you. If you're a 19-year-old kid, you've never ridden motorcycles before, this is not a great idea. Also, I think that just people who love Hondas. I mean, there are a contingent of people who are brand loyal, they love Honda, they want to get Honda. I mean, one of my good buddies, Brandon, is a Honda obsessed guy, and if you gotta get a Honda, then you get a Honda, this is the Honda you get. So my overall rating on this motorcycle, I'll give it a fair 7 out of 10. This is my own Yami Noob biased opinion here. Come on, biased, right? It's reasonably good at being a road bike, it's got nice fit and finish, it's got cool tech, it's satisfying to use, it'll run forever, but ultimately it does leave a little bit to be desired in terms of its ability to be a more fun motorcycle. It's relatively serious in the way that it goes down the road. It's very gentlemanly, it's very smooth, it's a little heavy. So I think that for my style of riding, it doesn't quite fit. But again, if that's you, it's a great motorcycle. It runs forever, makes a great sound, and I think it's pretty sweet. That's my comprehensive review on this motorcycle. If you want to see anything else I said about this bike, I've done detailed studio videos about it, first ride and review, compared it against a bunch of different motorcycles. We have a ton of content on the CBR650R, so go back in the catalog and see everything I had to say about this motorcycle. Remember, if you're catching this video on the day it goes live, it's the last day to get entered to win. Make sure you head over to yaminoob.co, join up as a member, and you could be the next lucky winner like Jeremy from Iowa. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later. You've made it to the end of another Yami Noob video. Aren't you just a special little cookie? Aren't you just something so great? Aren't you just, look at you, you're just so freaking cute. Why don't you go ahead and click on the next video? Why don't you go ahead, listen, hey, I'm just kidding around. Hey, listen to me. Click on the video.